I try to remind myself every day that I'm going to die and that life is transient. You may think this is a depressing thing to do, but it actually leads to extremely positive changes. So in this video, I'll explain 4 reasons it's good to think about your own death. The first reason is you are liberated from your fears. When you think about the fact that you're going to die, it really puts things into perspective. You realise just how transient life is and how much you need to seize it. Don't let fear hold you back. When you are dead, all of your worries and doubts die, along with any criticisms anyone else had for you. It's all pretty pointless. One of my favourite books is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Frankl was a psychiatrist who became a prisoner in Auschwitz during World War II. He wrote that when the prisoners were finally released, they felt liberation from their fears. They gained a new perspective, and things that they worried about before shrunk to their proper size, and their fears didn't hold them back anymore. The same thing happens when you think about your own mortality. You acknowledge that you are not going to be around forever, and you don't have time for worry and doubt. When you are liberated from your fears, then you will take much more action. There's a great video about Will Smith talking about his experience with fear and skydiving, in which he says, God placed the best things in life on the other side of fear. I highly recommend you watch it after this video. If you just search Will Smith on skydiving, then you'll find the video, and I recommend the one that's on the channel that's called 1000 Treks. I actually love walking around graveyards. It snaps me back into the moment and makes me realise just how transient life is, and how important it is to appreciate it. I look at some of the graves and I wonder if someone would have lived their life differently if they'd had another time over, or whether they'd let their fears dictate their life. So think about your own mortality and you will be liberated from your fears. The second reason is you will gain huge amounts of motivation. You could leave life at any moment, and so you should try and do something while you're here. Create something that you're proud of and stop working at things that really don't matter to you. When you realise how limited your time is on Earth, it kicks you into action. If you knew you only had 1 year left to live, would you stay in a job that you dislike? Also, would you sit around letting days slip by without taking action on the things that you truly want to do? Of course you wouldn't. You would get up and start doing things. It's easy to think that, someday I'll do that. But why wait? You can't assume that you're going to live a long life. I could die today after writing the script for this video. Viktor Frankl said, live as if you are living already for the second time, and if you had acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now. Life is so precious, so don't waste it. Take actions that you truly want to take. The third reason is you feel much more gratitude. Thinking about just how limited your time is makes you stop and take time to appreciate the good things and the beauty in life. I was in my garden the other day just looking at a daisy really closely and seeing the little hairs on the stem and thinking how incredible life is that it has so much insane detail. Hairs on a daisy in a garden in the small town I'm from, and there are trillions of flowers all around the world which also have so much detail. It's amazing to be alive and to be able to explore such an intricately detailed world. I'd highly recommend journaling each night. Just write down something good that happened during the day. It's really simple, but it's also really powerful. Having more gratitude leads to a much, much happier life. Remember, gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. The fourth reason is you appreciate your friends and family more. Not only should you think about your own mortality, but you should think about the mortality of the people that you love. Again, it sounds so depressing, but it isn't. We all know it's true, so why deny it? We should embrace it and let it motivate you. Appreciate the time you have with your loved ones. Hopefully, it will be decades more, but you don't know that for sure. So again, seize the moment and let them know you love them. One thing I'm doing with my family recently is playing a game called Spikeball, which is quite difficult to explain, but a quick search on Google and you'll see what I mean. It's sort of like a mini version of volleyball. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I highly recommend it and I'll put links in the description. Just before summarising, I wanted to say that the idea for this video came from me learning more about Stoicism. The Latin phrase memento mori, which means remember you are mortal, really stuck with me. I loved it so much and found it so useful that I got designing and created this clothing with it on. So if you're interested in getting one to help you remember about your own mortality and also have it as a catalyst for many interesting conversations, then I'll put links in the description. So to summarise, here are the 4 reasons it's good to think about your own death. You will be liberated from your fears. You will gain huge amounts of motivation. You will feel much more gratitude and you will appreciate your family and friends more.